the content. So let me guide you a bit in relation to the content. So you have a topic within self-empowerment, and I will ask you to position your content in a user-centric manner. So what does that mean? It means basically, if you were your own user, your own customer, how would you like the other person, the expert, to talk to you? So basically, you are going to get out of your shoes of expert, expert in your domain, and go in the shoes of your user, the people you talk to, and try to understand the message from their perspective. And this will be, this might be a key change that you will do in what you're doing, but the impact will be really high, because there's usually a misalignment between your view, the way you talk, the word you use, and what the user, the client, expect from you. So user centricity is very important. It can really change how fast, how easy people get your message, right? So I will help you, and I've done that already for more than a decade, to position your message from a user-centric perspective. And you can try this on one client if you want, and you see the benefit of it, and then you can expand that to other clients. You can change your approach. Simple, right? And I've done that in organization, in business, in startup, because I have learned along the way to think from the customer perspective. I used to look at the world from the organization perspective with all my resources, with all my knowledge, talking from an expert perspective. And I realized that when I adopted the other approach, really talking from the user perspective, the whole world was changing. The impact was actually way better, way higher, right? It was more efficient. So I will help you to position your content from a user perspective. If you're already doing that, then I have not much to bring you, but we will discuss this. This is important, right? And I have numerous experts that reach out to me, and the way they talk is they talk from an expert perspective. So I will ask them key questions, especially how you position your content from a user perspective. Imagine you were your own users. How would you like to be presented the content? And it's hard usually because it's a mindset change. So it won't happen from putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Is something I'm doing for years and years and years. And so it's kind of natural to do that for me now. But if you don't have this habit, it will take a little bit of energy. But it's very rewarding. Now, in terms of content, we want simple, relevant, and actionable content on Peoplelyzer. Let me take you through this. Simplicity. We're not there to talk with complex words that people do not understand. Because if they don't understand the talk easily, then how can they change their mindset? How can they change their behavior? How can they understand what you're talking about? How can they actually also talk to other people and reuse your message? So no complex word, no complex sentence. And I know it might be hard for you because, like, from your position as expert in my domain, I need to use those complex terms because they actually valorize me. They make me stand as an authority. Actually, unfortunately, this is a false perception where if people don't understand you, how do you want to position yourself as an expert? You can't. This is bullshit, right? But our context is full of bullshit, as you may have realized it. So a message which is easy to understand. I always say that simplicity is the ultimate complexity, because you need to reach a high level of complexity to be able to go into simplicity. You need to reach a level where you've got a vision of your field and you understand all the parts, where you are able to synthesize, sum up, and express the stuff in a very simple manner. I invite you, in terms of simplicity, to use image and stories, because people relate and remember image and stories. An example, for instance, is when you go through life, you may have some you may have things that you not perceive or perceive wrongly. An image for that, for instance, is when you are in a truck and you drive the truck, you have blind spot. So it's the same in life, right? You are in your truck, you're driving on the highway, and there's this little car there on your left, but you can't see it, right? There's a blind spot. So it's fine, but people remember this image, so this is useful, for instance. Relevance. So your message has to be relevant. You're not there to turn around the pot like a fly would turn around the pot of jam before landing on it. We don't want to do this, right? We're going straight to the point, and then we can explain to the users, right? Using stories or image. But the user is not here to listen to endless blah, 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 right? We are in a context where there's a sea of information out there, and it's already happening. The user is totally lost. They don't know what's right, what's wrong, what's correct, what's incorrect, and there's too much information. So the user is overloaded. So relevance means that you will also express your message in a limited time, right? So I would expect, for instance, on a topic that you have a number of blocks. Each block may be 4 to 5 minutes. And it means that your blog needs to be pretty well structured in terms of information so that the users know exactly what you're talking about. So it means that I'll give you tips on how you can actually prepare your content in a very structured manner so that you can create your content in a fast manner. And you will not repeat the same message across multiple topics or videos or whatever, which tend to be confusing from a user perspective. Actionability. So we want the user to leave us with a number of actions that 1, 2. I would limit that to a small number of actions that the user can start doing today or tomorrow that really contribute to his self-empowerment, that change his perspective, that really provide something as value, right? Because at the end of the day, if you talk about a topic for 8 minutes, let's, for instance, take the example of taking action, clarity of about the outcome, and that the users cannot go into any action, then what is the value from a user perspective? And I always ask you this, right? We watch your video, basically, there's like, where is the action? Where am I asking the user to do any action or stuff like that? So if there can be an action, identify an action, maybe just one, because the users need to start with something simple again, simplicity, and get going on this. And you want also clarity about the action that you ask the user to do, right? It's something that is doable for most people, and you know it based on experience. So simplicity, relevance, actionability really matter. Thank you.